Yo, what up, everybody? It's your boy 3J. Thank God for another day. Amen. Today, we're going to be reacting to Michael Jackson, Tatiana, and that on stage kiss part 2. Oh, I should have reacted to part 1 then. So hold on, give me one moment. So here we go. Here's the right one. It's Michael Jackson and Tatiana, lover, user, or obsessed fanatic, part 1, the details. Shout out to them. Been hearing a lot on the internet that oh, my mic was turned around. Been hearing a lot that, Michael did have a lot of interest in this woman and that she was did dirty by his management. So let's get right into it. Oh, as you guys can see, I got my hair did. I love it. And I'm pretty tired today. I need a nap, y'all. I'm like, man, I am sleepy. So, but let's get into it.
Tatiana Thumbson, best known for being Michael Jackson's video vixen for his 1987 chart-topping hit, The Way You Make Me Feel. She was handpicked by the artist because of Jackson's explicit attraction towards the young model. Slinky and sensual with flowing, tightly curled hair, porcelain skin, and chiseled features, many believed Tatiana was meant to represent the female manifestation of Jackson. Her innate blend of sex appeal as well as childhood innocence appealed to the artist, and a relationship developed between the two over the coming months.
Like what? They look
However,
good together.
after multiple private interactions and show performances,
To me, they look
including
real
that
good.
infamous on-stage kiss, Tatiana was all of a sudden dropped and iced out of Jackson's inner circle with no further explanation, leaving lost.
Oh, my fault.
Did she prove herself to be? But what invisible line had she crossed? Did she prove herself to be a traitor, manipulator, or an obsessive fanatic of Jackson? Here is the full detail.
Here's one thing you need to do before buying anything online. Don't spend another dime on Amazon until you watch this.
Her background. Tatiana Thumbson was born in Clearwater, Florida. As a child, she developed a love for dancing, and at the age of 13, she moved with her parents to New York and attended the American Ballet School. At age 17, Tatiana Thumbson decided to quit dancing to pursue a career in modeling, and soon after, Thumbson signed with Ford Modeling Agency only to be dropped a week later. Being a mix of African American, Cherokee Indian, Cuban, and Irish. Quote, "They just didn't know what to do with me. They told me, 'You're not black enough and you're not white enough.' I was stunned and saddened by this, even though I was warned by the established model Janice Dickinson not to work with them." Tatiana Thumbson then signed with Zolli Agency, who secured her a contract modeling in Japan, becoming one of their biggest models for the next 5 years.
Oh, wow.
Thumbson's first experience as a video girl came when she appeared in Herbie Hancock's 1985 single Hard Rock, in a high-energy surrealist film shot in the New York City subway system. Before working with Michael Jackson, Thumbson was already a massive fan, having apparently burst into tears when she was unable to get tickets to see him and his brothers perform during 1984's Victory Tour. However, that same year, while on her way to one of many casting calls, she recounted how she could not believe her luck when she came across her idol alone and pounding the pavements of New York City. Dressed casually in jeans and a t-shirt with a cap pulled down low on his face, Tatiana wanted so badly to stop and talk, but she just could not figure out what to say. Thumbson trailed behind Jackson for about 5 blocks before it hit her that she was going to be late and had to run for her next audition. First meeting. In 1987, Tatiana Thumbson was sent on an audition for a music video shoot, but wasn't told whose video it was for. The 27-year-old model was told to walk and show some attitude. The scene took place on a street in a rough area. A bunch of guys start hassling the character she was reading for, taunting her with lines like, "Hey baby, what's up?" After impressing Jackson's team, Tatiana was then asked to attend a low-key dress rehearsal. This is when she would discover the video was in fact from Michael Jackson and his song, The Way You Make Me Feel.
Oh, wow.
Quote, "Michael was there, but I was too shy to even look at him at first. The choreographer directed me to go through some moves, which I followed perfectly. Finally, I glanced up at Michael. He was sitting there in a red shirt, bopping to the music with this big happy grin on his face. I saw him turn to the person
Michael
next to
always
him and
wearing
say
red,
something.
y'all.
After meeting the young model, Michael Jackson had apparently said to the video director, 'She's the one. The rest are extras.' Jackson handpicked her himself out of 200 women. One of the reasons he chose her was because he wanted a girl to whom he felt a real sexual attraction with. Upon hearing the news, Tatiana recounted that she screamed so loud that all of Hollywood must have heard it. It was a milestone accomplishment for her that she finally made it, and her career would soon be taking off. While on the shoot, Thompson went into wardrobe and it was agreed that she would wear a short black dress, the exact look that she wore for the original audition taping. The boots were hers and the bracelets were hers too. Although painfully shy and intimidated by the musical icon, Tatiana attempted to break the ice by asking Jackson what he was going to wear. Dressed simply in black pants, a white t-shirt, and a long-sleeved royal blue shirt with a white sash tied in a bow at the front, Tatiana felt she was overdressed compared to his costume. But Jackson said in a soft voice, "This is what I'm wearing." Tatiana Thompson described being on set that day, watching Michael Jackson dance, and that, quote, "It was even more amazing to see him in person. You can tell he has so much passion for what he does." Between the many breaks on the 5-day video shoot, Thompson admitted to Jackson that she saw him years ago in New York and that she followed him a few blocks. He laughed and said, "Oh really? Why didn't you say something?" Truly ironic that Tatiana Thompson just a few years previously had followed him on the streets of New York, and now here he was, the one chasing her, through a set made to look like the Big Apple in his new music video. Both were shy and awkward at first, but chemistry between them started to heat up as the days went on.
So good together.
Getting into the mood of the video, Thompson recalls how Jackson approached her up close and boldly studied her butt. He asked if she was a ballerina and was impressed that she was trained and could dance on her toes. Tatiana revealed that during the filming of The Way You Make Me Feel, Jackson flirted with her a lot. During one take, the heel of Tatiana's boot was caught in the car's upholstery, and Michael put his hand on her leg to help pull it out. When she pulled away, she began to tumble out of the car, falling on her butt, as the director Joe Pytka yelled, "Get up, keep it going and don't stop." As she did, Michael got out of the car and started wiping her butt off. Quote, "The fall caused a run in my stockings and the stylist wanted me to change. I started walking off the set and Michael asked, 'Where are you going?' I explained, but he disapproved by saying, 'No, I like it. I think the run is neat. It's sexy.'" Working with such close proximity to each other over the 5-day video shoot, affections grew between the two. Too shy to ask himself, Tatiana was approached by one of Michael's own security to see if she had a boyfriend. A bit later, LaToya, Michael's sister, and mother, Catherine, arrived on the set and Thompson was introduced to them. After completing the video's choreographed dance segment, Michael Jackson requested a closed set for the two's final scene. No one was allowed on set other than people necessary to the shoot. That meant no dancers, visitors, or extras. It was rumored that the two were scripted to kiss at the end of the video scene, but the director came up to Tatiana and whispered in her ear, quote, "Don't kiss him, he's too shy for that," and she respected his direction. Between the scenes, Michael said to Tatiana, "I heard you wanted to dance in this video." She laughed and admitted it was true, which Michael replied, "Don't worry, we'll work together again." Love blossoms. Immediately after the shoot wrapped, Michael Jackson flew to Japan to begin the first leg of his Bad World Tour. The completed music video was released in November 1987, and as a result, Tatiana Thompson became an overnight video star and was recognized wherever she went. A few months later in January 1988, during a break in performing, Jackson got in contact with Tatiana again to invite her on set for the video's single, "Leave Me Alone." Located in Culver City, Thompson arrived on the lot while Michael was between takes, and he seemed genuinely pleased to see her, immediately telling her that The Way You Make Me Feel was currently charting at #1 that week.
I hate
Imagine
snakes.
if the web came with a command center for your company. The ease, the simplicity, the ability to...
For the rest of her visit, he was full-on smiles as his personal photographer paired the two for photos, using a full roll of film for the couple. Allegedly,
They look so good.
Michael Jackson also wanted to feature his new love interest in the music video for the single Dirty Diana. Thompson recounts that she received a message from Michael's office to audition for the video, but when she asked Frank DeLeo, Michael's manager, about it, he said he was keen to not have the same girl for 2 different videos. Quote,
Frank
"You don't want to be
DeLeo,
known for doing
whatever
too
his
many
name
videos,
is.
and the
He
roles
the
and
reason why she got kicked off the Bad Tour and all that, man.
negative character. Just leave it be." In Joe Jackson's book, published in 2004, Joe recalls Michael Jackson's relationship with Tatiana. Quote, "He invited the girl to our home so that my wife and I could get to know her. She was young, beautiful, and she had the heart of a child." Tatiana Thompson has said that the entire Jackson family liked her, that Michael's nephews and nieces even called her Tatiana Jackson. Tatiana also recounts that Michael's mother told her that he was in love with her. Joe Jackson recalled that, quote, Michael has admitted to his mother that he was in love with the wonderful dancer. There was a strong sexual attraction between them, but he would like to know her better. As a result, Tatiana was invited to perform with Michael Jackson on several dates of the Bad Tour once it arrived in the US. Seeing his tours as a way to bring alive the videos that made his music so popular, having Tatiana perform the now famous The Way You Make Me Feel routine with him on stage was important to him, but also allowed him time to get to know her while he was traveling the world and performing to millions. Tensions build. In late February 1988, while performing as a dancer on Michael Jackson's tour, Tatiana said Jackson told his crew members never to talk to her outside of work, which she also perceived as meaning, don't even think about trying to get with her. But at the same time, she never got to be alone with him and longed to finally get some time with the man she had suddenly fallen for. The only time she saw Michael was on stage or on television. She was isolated from others and was usually alone in her hotel room watching movies or wondering what Michael was doing. Quote, I felt as though I was some sort of Barbie doll that they took out of the box when they needed to show it off. But I kept getting all these reports that Michael was in love with me. It was confusing and lonely to be me. On March 1st, a People magazine piece aired interviewing Tatiana. Michael's PR team set up the interview, but surprisingly, Michael did not know anything about it until later. To her surprise, but not to her dismay, the story read as though Michael had found his soulmate in her. This piece triggered a flurry of tabloid attention on the couple, and Thumbson was their target. Regularly receiving phone calls from reporters from her hotel room, they asked her all sorts of questions about Michael. Quote, I put them off by saying, I've got to go. What's it like working with Michael? I finally gave in and replied, I love it, it's great. But what was printed was that I said, I love him. The following day, March 2nd, Tatiana performed with Jackson for the 1988 Grammy Awards at the famed Radio City Music Hall. Quote, 4 years earlier, I had cried about not being able to attend a Michael Jackson concert, and now here I was, a special feature in one. After Thumbson had acted out her part on stage, she stood in the wings watching the rest of Jackson's performance. Quote, I was deeply lost in a trance like everyone else. Someone walked in front of me, and as I shifted my position, the woman turned to me and said, oh, excuse me. It was the one and only Miss Diana Ross. She was the woman that Michael admired as he grew up. Well, so had I. Just a few days later, Thumbson performed at New York's Madison Square.
Diana came in the picture. Oh, I see you glancing at Michael. He likes me. He don't want
Garden
you.
as part of Jackson's tour. Strutting back and forth across the stage, she decided to change up the routine.
I guess from a distance, she was like, she's staring at him a little bit too hard. Let me go and say something to her. Let me just walk in front of her.
Having little time to spend with Jackson in private, Tatiana became
let me remind her that Michael loves me the most.
Tempted to act out her desires for him during their performance by grabbing his collar and landing a big kiss on his cheek. The fans went berserk, and she left the stage. She heard a laugh in every note Michael sang. The dancers told her that he was happy and excited about the kiss, telling her, oh boy, you just made Michael's day. He was happy. The next night was the last time Thumbson was scheduled to perform, and she decided to call Michael to ask if it would be alright if she could take it a step further. Oh, sure, that'll be great, he answered. After all, he would pull a girl out of the audience and embrace her. Why would a kiss from someone he already knew be a big deal? The next night, when Thumbson stepped on stage, there was that roar from the audience again. They were fired up. Quote, for a few brief seconds, I thought about whether or not I should follow through on the kiss. As I stepped up to him and put my arms around his collar, he looked deep into my eyes, almost as though he was challenging me. Then, he did this sexy little thing where he bit his bottom lip. I placed my arm around his waist, and I landed a kiss right on his mouth. After her performance, Thumbson walked backstage and immediately felt hostility towards her from Jackson's team, even though Michael's mother, Catherine, walked towards her and gave her a warm, embracing hug. At the hotel, Tatiana was approached by Michael Brando, Marlon Brando's son and Michael's friend, yelling at the top of his lungs. How dare you take advantage of him like that, you Who the do you think you are? I cannot believe you took advantage of him like that in front of all those people. It was at this point Tatiana Thumbson realized she had possibly made a terrible mistake.
What's up, Michael? She didn't.
Watch
But to
part
them,
2 to
'cause
hear
it's
what happened
business.
immediately after this very public onstage kiss and the
All right, now let's
devastation it
watch part
caused
2, y'all.
in Tatiana.
But that's crazy, man. Michael enjoyed
After
it.
her
But
performance, including that infamous onstage kiss, Tatiana was all of a sudden dropped and iced out of Jackson's inner circle with no further explanation, leaving Thumbsin utterly devastated. But what invisible line had she crossed? Did she prove herself to be a traitor, manipulator, or an obsessive fanatic of Jackson? Here is the full detail. While waiting to hear back from Jackson's team about the next dates on the tour, Tatiana returned to LA. Knowing that certain members of Michael's entourage weren't happy with her, Thumbsin heard that Karen Faye, Michael's makeup artist, started a rumor that the video girl had complained about the service at the hotel and that she had demanded a suite. On April 11th, Thumbsin appeared on The Tonight Show with host Ross Schaefer. Quote, he asked me, "So, are you and Mike really dating?" I replied, "No, we're not. Our relationship is strictly professional." He insisted, "No, come on." I repeated my answer, and once again, he insisted with the point that we were dating. I thought I would add a little humor and some mystery, so I responded by saying, "No, we're not. Not yet, anyway." It got back to me that Michael did not like my response.
what?
She recalls, quote, "My dates just went by. A friend calls me and tells me you've been replaced. Sheryl Crow is doing your number, and my world was shattered."
With the
Joe
backup
Jackson
singer.
recounted that the onstage kiss was a strike against her, but, quote, when she spoke on a talk show about her relationship with Michael, Michael's manager decided that that was enough. She was immediately fired. We knew that he had romantic feelings for her, but we certainly did not utter a word about it since it was not clear if this relationship was serious or not. Tatiana Thumbsin had never been near a celebrity and couldn't believe that someone so famous and in demand would be interested in her. Fiercely protective of his privacy, Tatiana had proven herself to be untrustworthy, having been thrown into the public eye and speaking about such sacred subjects before Michael Jackson had the opportunity to spend some real time with her and gain some insight into her character. Michael Jackson was said to be attracted to women with class, who carried themselves with grace, and crucially, those he felt would be loyal to him. He did not like women who he felt were pushy and aggressive, and was put off by those who used their sexuality to seduce men, further their career, and in general, get what they want. After all, he was raised a devout Jehovah's Witness, and from his perspective, Thumbsin had proven herself to be very much like the dangerous women he would sing about. The aftermath. Having lost out on the opportunity, and also on Michael, Tatiana was left heartbroken and devastated. In several interviews, the video girl claimed she suffered from hair loss, fell into a deep depression, and even contemplated suicide. Quote, "I went through a great battle with depression. I cried often and extremely hard. Then to top it off, I was bombarded with questions about why someone else was doing my part. Why aren't you out there? All kinds of comments came my way, and it hurts so bad. It got to where I hated leaving my house. I felt as though I did not want to live." Years later, Michael Jackson spoke about the girls who featured in his videos, saying, quote, "I casted them because I really liked them, and it caused a problem afterwards because they start to really like me. When they see me running the other way, some of them follow me around the world, and it is so hard because it would hurt them too much." Thumbsin maintained contact with Michael's mother, who was also puzzled by what happened. Tatiana was invited to the Jackson compound in Encino, and they talked at length several times. Tatiana rattled her brain trying to come up with an explanation for the sudden cold treatment. Did Michael's handler see her as a threat to the tour, or just a crazed fan? Or was she naive and read into his actions too much? Even so, being fired from the tour had terrible repercussions for her both psychologically and professionally. Unfortunately, being the girl from the MJ video turned out to be a career killer, as casting agents couldn't look beyond it, and she lost a lot of work. To add insult to injury, Thumbsin also felt taken advantage of when it came to the payment she received for her appearances with Michael Jackson. Quote, "All I was paid was $5,000 for the tour, and a little less than that for the video." Having seen her picture on the
That's it?
45 single of The Way You Make Me Feel, she also heard that Michael Jackson's 1988 calendar had her picture for the month of May. She was perplexed that she was not paid for these additional uses of her image. For a brief period, Tatiana agreed to have Michael's father manage her career. Quote, He talked about the things I should be doing to capitalize on my success, like having my own clothing line, calendar, or doll. He told me how perfect my face was for a doll and the great success I could have. He promised it would all happen if I stuck with him. However, Joe Jackson suspected that employing him was simply one of her futile attempts to once again catch his son's eye. Quote, "She vainly tried to draw his attention to herself again, but Michael completely kept away from her when he had found out that she dated Prince. Then she moved on to a member of Milli Vanilli, and when that didn't work, even tried to seduce my other son. But these guys never worked out because she was still in love with Michael." When the singer first faced allegations of child molestation in 1993, The Way You Made Me Feel video star appeared on several radio and talk shows including Howard Stern and Maury Povich, where she lied about having a romantic relationship with Jackson that lasted over 18 months. The Jackson patriarch went on to say, quote, "When the charges against Michael appeared, her money had ended again, and that's why she talked on TV about Michael, but she said such nonsense." Soon after, her former fling Prince approached Tatiana in a nightclub and started talking to her about it. Prince knew her and Jackson's entire story because when she was with him, all she would speak about was Michael. Prince expressed his opinion on her hypocritical behavior. She tried to get out and explained that her words have been twisted, but Prince did not believe her. He accused her of telling lies about Michael for money, when she was the one who could tell the real truth. Over the years, Tatiana Thumbsen would release 2 books and partake in countless interviews relating to her short-lived relationship with Jackson. After the King of Pop's death in 2009, Tatiana Thumbsen attended Michael Jackson's private funeral at Forest Lawn Park. By then, she had not seen Michael in over 20 years. However, she remained friendly with the Jackson family, and Katherine Jackson invited her. But whatever is said about Tatiana Thumbsen and her relationship with Michael, she was the first woman with whom he physically interacted in front of a camera with. She triggered the notion of desire in Jackson's performance as she reenacted this sexual game on stage at Madison Square Garden with his first ever kiss in public. Their momentary attraction gave Jackson a new sensual and sexual dimension in the eyes of the world. A visual play captured in celluloid for generations to come.
So she messed it up herself.
Thank you for watching The Detail. Check out our channel for more Michael J.
Well, they would have looked good together, y'all, so. But it's all good. I wish Michael would have found real love in his life and somebody he could have spent his life married with. He had 2 marriages and divorced them in like 2-3 years. It's okay, though. But I hope y'all enjoyed this video, man. It's kind of sad seeing that. But you know, they would have been, to me, they would have looked good together. They would have looked real good together. And she's obviously loved Michael. But yeah, anyways, I hope you guys enjoyed that video. Comment down below what you guys want me to react to next. I certainly will. But y'all have a great day. I'm gonna be streaming tomorrow, Friday the 27th. Yeah, so y'all tune in. Make sure you click on the link below in the link tree. Go to my Twitch, click on that bell, and y'all will be there for my you'll be notified when I go live. But y'all have a great day. I love you. Peace out.